What if the story of Stranger Things has been setting up Will Byers not just as the boy who survived the Upside Down, but as the one destined to rule it? Right from the start, Will's connection to that creepy place has been way stronger than anyone else's. He's had haunting visions, lingering ties to the Mind Flayer, and a sense that the Upside Down itself is somehow linked to him. But with Vecna's reign threatened and the world's balance on the line, a scary thought pops up. Will might not just fight the darkness, but he could become its new ruler or the one in charge, even if he doesn't want to. This flips his whole story from being a victim to a figure of ultimate power, raising the question of whether his bond with the Upside Down is a curse or the only way to save everyone. From the start, Will has been totally connected to that weird dimension. His vanishing started it all. His visions showed him crazy monsters, and he's always had this creepy feeling that the Upside Down wasn't quite done with him. Unlike the others, Will has always carried a piece of that place within him, a shadow on his soul that no amount of friendship or sunshine has ever gotten rid of. Will's childhood trauma doesn't just make him a survivor, it shapes him into someone uniquely prepared for a role no one else could endure. Being trapped in the Upside Down as a child, stalked by the Demogorgon, and later used as a vessel by the Mind Flayer carved scars into his very identity, but those scars may also be what grants him the resilience to command the darkness instead of being consumed by it. Unlike Eleven, who was made to have powers, Will's strength comes from surviving the worst stuff when he was a kid. Being alone in that creepy, frozen place, he had to learn to adapt, listen, and survive when anyone else would have cracked. Even after he got back, he wasn't okay, he still felt the danger, and he still had those visions. It's kept him connected to the Upside Down, yeah, but it's also taught him how to live with it, understand it, and handle it better than anyone else. Basically, Will's been walking that line between being a victim and being a vessel for years. His pain, as cruel as it is, might be the very thing that transforms him into the guardian, or ruler, the Upside Down demands. What sets Will apart from every other character tied to the Upside Down is not just his suffering, but the empathy that has survived despite it. We've seen it over and over. Will's biggest strength is his big heart. He's super loyal to his friends, he's quiet and sensitive, and he feels things more intensely than anyone else. This emotional core is what makes him so relatable, but it's also what makes his possible future so uncertain. If Will became the new ruler of the Upside Down, that empathy could be a sign of hope, reshaping the twisted dimension into something less hostile, perhaps even bending it to protect rather than destroy. Picture the Upside Down, but Will's need to connect, to belong, and to protect the people he loves is woven into the place itself, turning it into a reflection of his own good heart instead of Vecna's evil. But here's the thing, empathy can cut both ways. What if, instead of fixing the Upside Down, Will's feelings become its most dangerous weapon? His loneliness, his bottled-up rage, and feeling like he's been ditched could just as easily corrupt him, making him a ruler fueled by pain rather than compassion. The very qualities that make Will so uniquely human could either save the Upside Down in a way nobody sees coming, or make it even worse than Vecna ever did. If Will were to take on the mantle of ruler or guardian of the Upside Down, the consequences would ripple through every one of his relationships, especially with Mike and Eleven, the two people at the center of his emotional world. Mike promised he'd always be there for him, and he was the one who brought Will back when he was lost. If Will gets stuck in the Upside Down, Mike would have to choose, accept that his best friend is now part of the place that almost killed him, or fight it, even if it means they're done. Their relationship, already strained by unspoken feelings and years of Will's quiet longing, would be pushed into a tragic new light, and Mike would have to figure out how to deal with the old Will and the new, powerful one he has become. For Eleven, this is gonna hit different. She's always been battling with the Upside Down and the monsters within it, yet now she might be confronted with the reality that someone she loves and trusts has merged with the enemy's realm. Is she gonna see Will as a friend who can help her shut the gate for good, or as a scary sign of what happens when the Upside Down takes over someone? They've been through so much together, so maybe Eleven is the only one who gets what he's really going through, but she might also have to fight him if he gets too powerful. Will's story isn't just about him, it changes everything for the Hawkins crew, making them wonder if their love for him can beat the darkness he might become. If Will were to step into the role of ruler of the Upside Down, the entire shape of the final battle in Stranger Things would be transformed. Instead of a straightforward clash between good and evil, our crew against Vecna and his monsters, it'd get super personal. Will would stand at the center of it all, no longer just the boy the party has to save, but the key piece that could decide whether their world lives or dies. It'd mess up their plans, cause some would want to protect him no matter what, while others might not trust him since he's so connected to the Upside Down. Imagine in the big fight, Will's command of the realm could totally shift the balance. Imagine him calling off the Demobats or bending the vines of the Upside Down to shield his friends, wielding its horrors as weapons against Vecna himself. But the scary thing is, what if the Upside Down picks up on his pain and vulnerability, and messes with his head at the worst possible time? Then, they'd have to fight not just Vecna, but Will too. Such a scenario would raise the emotional stakes to their highest point, making the battle not simply about defeating monsters, but about saving the soul of one of their own. If they make it all about Will, the final fight would be way more than just a fight, it'd be about love, and sticking together, and sacrifice. The whole thing would depend on whether Will chooses to be good or gives in to the dark side he's been dealing with all along. In the aftermath of such a battle, if Will were to accept his role as the ruler of the Upside Down, the ending of Stranger Things would take on a bittersweet, almost mythic weight. Hawkins would be safe, and Vecna would be gone, but Will wouldn't get to be free. Everyone else gets to go back to their lives, but he's stuck there. It would be a win for them, but a total bummer too. They'd know he's okay, but they'd never really have him back. Things like holidays and hanging out would just be memories rather than promises, replaced by visits to a boy who now exists between dimensions. Joyce and Jonathan would have a hard time letting go after fighting so hard for him, and Mike and Eleven would feel awful that they couldn't save him in the way they hoped. Yet at the same time, Will's fate could be framed not as a tragedy but as a profound act of heroism, choosing to shoulder the burden so no one else would ever have to. That way, his story would be complete. The kid who was once hurt by the Upside Down becomes the one who controls it, not through cruelty like Vecna, but through sacrifice, resilience, and love. His ending would linger as the most hauntingly beautiful of all, a reminder that sometimes you have to give up your own life to save everyone else's. So now I ask you, is Will Byers destined to finally escape the grip of the Upside Down once and for all, or was he always meant to rule it? What do you think? Leave your thoughts in the comments. Thanks for sticking with me through this wild theory. If you want more Stranger Things deep dives and hidden connections, make sure to like this video, subscribe to Strangers Freaks, and share your own theories in the comments below.